The war in Ukraine, now in its second year, continues to be a source of global concern and instability. What began as a regional conflict has escalated into a complex crisis with far-reaching implications. The invasion has resulted in a devastating loss of life, displacement on a massive scale, and a humanitarian crisis that demands international attention. Beyond the immediate impact on Ukraine, the conflict has exposed vulnerabilities in the international order, raising questions about the future of global security and cooperation. The conflict has also highlighted the dangers of unchecked aggression and the importance of defending democratic values and sovereignty. As the war enters a new phase, understanding the latest developments is crucial. This includes assessing military strategies, analyzing the humanitarian toll, and examining the evolving international response. The conflict's trajectory remains uncertain, making it all the more critical to stay informed about the unfolding events and their global significance. Intense fighting continues across the front lines in eastern Ukraine. Ukrainian forces are engaged in a counter-offensive aiming to reclaim territory seized by Russia. Russian forces are fortifying their positions, using artillery and airstrikes to slow the Ukrainian advance. Key areas of contention include the Donbas region, where both sides are heavily invested. The city of Bakhmut has witnessed particularly fierce fighting, with high casualties reported on both sides. The use of drones and long-range artillery has become increasingly common, leading to a war of attrition. The situation remains fluid, with gains and losses reported by both sides. The coming weeks will be crucial in determining the success of the Ukrainian counteroffensive and the overall trajectory of the conflict. The war's toll on civilians continues to escalate. Millions have been displaced within Ukraine, seeking safety in Western regions or neighboring countries. The destruction of infrastructure has left many without access to basic necessities like water, electricity, and healthcare. The United Nations estimates that over 10 million Ukrainians have fled their homes since the start of the conflict. The mass displacement has put a strain on neighboring countries, requiring a coordinated international response to provide humanitarian aid and support. The psychological impact of the war on civilians is immeasurable. The constant threat of violence, loss of loved ones, and displacement have left deep scars on the Ukrainian population. Addressing the long-term psychological and social needs of those affected by the conflict will be a significant challenge. The international community remains deeply divided over the conflict. Western nations continue to condemn Russia's actions and provide military and financial support to Ukraine. Russia, however, maintains its narrative of a special military operation and accuses the West of escalating the conflict. Diplomatic efforts to find a peaceful resolution have been largely unsuccessful. Sanctions imposed on Russia have had a limited impact on its actions, while peace talks remain stalled. The lack of a unified international response has fueled concerns about the conflict's potential to escalate further. China's role remains a point of contention as it attempts to balance its relationship with Russia while navigating international pressure. The conflict has highlighted the complexities of global power dynamics and the challenges of achieving a peaceful resolution in a multipolar world. Section 5, the information war propaganda and the battle for narratives. Beyond the physical battlefield, a parallel information war rages. Both sides use propaganda and disinformation to shape public opinion and control the narrative surrounding the conflict. Social media platforms have become key battlegrounds, amplifying misinformation and making it difficult to discern truth from fiction. Russia's state-controlled media outlets disseminate a carefully curated narrative, portraying the invasion as a necessary measure to protect Russian interests. Western media outlets face accusations of bias from Russia, highlighting the difficulty of reporting objectively in a highly polarized environment. The information war has eroded trust in traditional media sources and fueled societal divisions. Critical thinking and media literacy are essential tools for navigating the deluge of information and countering the spread of propaganda. Section 6. Economic implications, global impact and future uncertainties. The war's economic ramifications extend far beyond Ukraine's borders. The conflict has disrupted global supply chains, leading to shortages and price hikes in essential commodities like wheat, oil, and natural gas. The International Monetary Fund warns of a looming global recession fueled by the conflict's impact on energy markets and supply chains. The war has also exacerbated existing economic inequalities. Developing countries are disproportionately affected by rising food and energy prices, pushing millions into poverty and food insecurity. The conflict highlights the interconnectedness of the global economy and the need for international cooperation to address shared challenges. The long-term economic consequences of the war remain uncertain. The outcome of the conflict, the duration of sanctions, and the pace of reconstruction efforts will all play significant roles in shaping the economic landscape in Ukraine and beyond. Section 7. Resilience and Resistance. Ukrainian defiance and international support. Despite facing overwhelming odds, the Ukrainian people have shown remarkable resilience and determination. Ordinary citizens have taken up arms to defend their country, while volunteers work tirelessly to provide humanitarian aid and support. The spirit of resistance is palpable, fueled by a desire to protect their homeland and preserve their freedom. The international community has rallied in support of Ukraine, providing military equipment, financial assistance, and humanitarian aid. Volunteers from around the world have flocked to Ukraine to offer their skills and support. The outpouring of solidarity demonstrates the power of collective action and the importance of standing up for democratic values. However, sustaining this level of support in the long term will be crucial. As the conflict drags on, fatigue and competing priorities could lead to a decline in international assistance. Maintaining a united front and ensuring that Ukraine has the resources it needs to rebuild will be essential. Section 8. Looking ahead. Possible scenarios and the long road to peace. Predicting the outcome of the conflict remains a complex and uncertain task. Several scenarios are possible, ranging from a negotiated settlement to a protracted war of attrition. The success of the Ukrainian counter-offensive, the willingness of both sides to engage in meaningful negotiations, and the role of external actors will all influence the conflict's trajectory. Even if a ceasefire is achieved, the road to lasting peace will be long and arduous. Rebuilding Ukraine's devastated infrastructure, addressing the trauma experienced by millions, and achieving reconciliation will require sustained effort and international support. The war in Ukraine serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the devastating consequences of conflict. It underscores the need for diplomacy, dialogue, and a commitment to international cooperation to prevent future tragedies and build a more secure and peaceful world.